Hey friends, it's Marla with Marla Cain, and I did the most fun thing with the big goose that I found on one of my Thrift Bucks trips. Well, here's how it looked when I found it, and I actually like that it's got the Merry Christmas hand painted on there, and I think that's very charming. I took the ribbon away, I didn't like that, but I decided I would make the back side something that I could use for the rest of the year because it's got such a great shape to it. So there it is, the way it looks originally, and then I used my mouse sander on the back of it, and what I'm doing is just using straight antique wax on the back of it. And you can water this down, might go on a little easier, I don't know, but I just was not in the mood. It's just a small project here. I didn't have too much to do, so I went ahead and just put it on with my little sponge applicator. And the good thing about this, stain takes a while to dry and it smells really strong, but this Waverly Antique Wax, it's kind of a cheater's way to get the look of stain without having to actually get your stain out. By the way, that shirt I'm wearing, I got a 2-pack of these shirts on clearance for $3, which made them $1.50 each, and they're soft as butter. They are so comfy. Okay, so back to the project. I thought that I had chalk wax, but chalk paint, but it was actually wax. You saw me pick up the bottle and say, what is this? So I thought, well, okay, let me just keep going. It might give me the look I wanted anyway. So I put a good coat of this white wax on there, and you don't have to let it dry really, but I put a pretty good amount on it because I had already poured onto my little paper plate there. So I thought, well, let's see what happens if I just kind of rub this in with a little paper towel, a little paper napkin. And just didn't love the look. It wasn't the look that I had in mind that I wanted to use. So I thought, let me just let this dry a little bit, and I'll actually use the white paint that I thought I had in my hand. So what I did was I took it to the bathroom where my hair dryer is, and I dried it off a little bit and came back with some little sandpaper, and that's actually matte white apple barrel acrylic paint, which a matte acrylic paint is very similar to a chalk paint, and for a little project like this, it doesn't make too much difference whether you're using chalk paint or acrylic paint, but do choose matte. I think that does make it behave a little bit more like chalk paint for a good bit less cost. But I decided, and I'm just pretty relaxed with my projects here. I didn't even wash out my foam brush in between. I just kind of squeezed it out with my paper napkin and just went straight on to the next thing. Oh, did we not talk about what I just did with that candle? You see the candle line there? I rubbed the candle over it before I painted to see if it would make it easier to distress back off, and I couldn't really tell if it made it easier or not. So maybe I'm not using the exact right kind of candle, or maybe my method wasn't the best, but I did know that I would have to probably just sacrifice that little piece of sandpaper because I was too impatient to wait until it thoroughly dried, and I knew that it was going to just ruin my little sheet of sandpaper, but I didn't care because you get them at the Dollar Tree. They're very cheap. A whole pack of them is $1. So I worked on it and sanded on it, and you try to go with the grain so that it looks like the wood grain that's in it, but I ended up with this much of the paint back off, and I love it. I'm so excited. It was very, very pleasing to the eye, to my eye anyway. So I immediately switched out my big dough bowl that I did have in that spot, and I hung Mr. Big Wood Goose up there, and that's where I'm going to enjoy him for quite some time till I get in the mood to rearrange that shelf area again. But This area in my kitchen, I've only had those shelves up there less than a year, and I've got my favorite vintage kitchen items up there. You can see mixing bowls and that kind of thing. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope it gives you an idea for the next time that you might see a really good wooden item that has something painted on it. I mean, I could have sanded off the whole Christmas thing, but I did like the Christmas part. But the back side, you can use it for other things, so that's great. I'm so glad that you took the time to watch. If you would subscribe and comment and interact with me, I would love it, because I do make it my business to read every comment and reply, and it just brings me so much joy. I love it. I enjoy it. Thanks so much.